to church and they're starving? Come on. Life is not fair.
If you were talking about a more advanced situation, a more advanced society that we have available to us at this level, would you expect to find religion in that society?
No. No, because religion is brainwashed into everyone. Because we have an almighty cosmic force that's created this massive universe. But we are not just a grain of sand in the beach. You mean to tell me God is going to pick this tiny little earth and say, oh, you haven't worshipped me, you haven't given me respect, I'm going to kill you. Come on. It's brainwash. How many church leaders, the Pope himself or church leaders of any religion can honestly say to its supporters, God has spoken to me, I have seen God. How many of us have seen God? We haven't. It's only hearsay. People are stupid. And yet we got a magnificent brain that's so advanced, not even a computer can match it. So these people are brain dead.
Because they believe.
Because they're stupid. They are, if you look at
No, I understand what stupid means. It's okay.
If you look at American Indians, the native Indians, they always say, the spirit in the sky. No matter what happens, they just believe it. And yet, these people have got the brains to think for themselves, right? We've lost that. Yet our brain is so powerful, we can literally heal ourselves. That we cannot, tap into that knowledge. We have to rely on other people to tell us what to do. What's happening to our human race?
Say that again. What does what?
What is happening to our human race? We are literally destroying ourselves on the so-called fake religion.
Yeah, so it would seem. Assuming you're right, of course. 08704 20 20 20. Vicky, just called in about, where's she gone? Just called in about the Pope and wants to reevaluate society's role as defined by that. So we'll speak to you, Vicky, in just a minute. I've got 3 lines free. 08704 20 20 20. Thanks, John.
On 1089 and 1053 AM and Freeview Channel 723. Talk Sport.
At 6 o'clock this morning, it's Alan Brazil's Sports Breakfast. And with Alan will be Graham Beechcroft, whose name I always get just so embarrassed. I can't get his name right. It's embarrassing. And also they'll be talking to Mansfield Town's manager, Peter Shirtlift. It can't be that. I can't believe that. Vicky's in Leeds. Hello, Vicky.
Hi there.
Hi, welcome to TalkSport. What did you like to say?
Just this whole thing with the Pope and the uproar from most of the Muslim community, I find it really upsetting that because somebody hasn't even expressed a view but has started a debate, that they can be theoretically killed and everybody's baying for the Pope's blood. And even when he does apologise for causing upset and not intentionally meaning to do so, that it's still not good enough. But because of that, it started to make me think about my job and the role that I have within the community, because I'm actually an estate agent, which I know doesn't usually go down too well with most people. But the area that I work in is quite a mixed community. And I've worked in many different areas within Leeds where there are mixed community, and it's always been great. Really enjoyed my job. But in the particular area that I'm in now, I'm feeling almost ashamed to call myself British. The community that I work within has quite a high Muslim community. And I'm not meaning to bash Muslims, because I'd say the majority of Muslims are great people, but the particular group of people I deal with on a day-to-day basis ostracise themselves so much from the rest of the community. It's building more and more bad feelings with everybody within the Muslim community and within the community that aren't Muslims. It's things like a lot of people within the Muslim community have been living in the country for years and years and years, but they still can't speak English and don't wish to do so. And I come across it almost on a regular day-to-day basis, that I should have an interpreter there for them. And it feels like, for me at the moment, there's one rule for Muslim people, a minority which are very, very loudly spoken, and one rule for everybody else. And if the rule for everybody else doesn't fit in with the minority of the Muslims, well, we should bow down, and it's a case of almost sod the rest of everybody else. And I'm feeling really, really disappointed about it. So much so, I'm thinking it's getting to the point of I would rather emigrate and go to a different country, because I can't see things improving here.
Where would you like to go?
Ideally somewhere where there isn't particularly much religion, because I think it causes more problems than what benefits there are. But that's me. I wouldn't say I'm not religious. I'm open to many ideas, and I'm always open to conversations. But I never condone taking things to an extreme for religion. I just believe in being a good person.
So, Islam is growth industry in America.
It's a growth industry everywhere. It's the biggest religion now.
It's what?
It's the biggest religion now, isn't it? And
No, it's not. But it's on its way to growing, and it's growing with quite young people, which is very interesting, because if you look at big quality newspapers considered to be right-wing newspapers, they're famous for their readership falling off, literally dying, because their newspapers are read by older people. If you look at more socially aware papers, for example, read by younger people, that would probably describe Islam's success, because they can apply to younger people, and it is quite extraordinary how quickly it's taken off. So when I said to you, where would you like to go, it was somewhat of a loaded question, because it wouldn't be in Western Europe, would it?
I don't know, it's almost a case of finding a field and leave me there, I suppose. It's a case of doing so much research to look at how the population grows, because you tend to see patterns all over the place for different things. It's just, I feel so disappointed with the country, with the way it's going. I'm only young myself, I'm 26, and I almost feel myself going towards being racist, and I've always anybody who's racist, I've always hated with a passion, and I think it's really wrong, and I detest that I feel that I'm going more towards that way, just simply because I feel people who aren't Muslim almost have a lesser hand, they don't have as many options, or if things like with the police, it doesn't, if you want to join the police force, it doesn't necessarily go on whether you're the best candidate or not. It depends on if they're down in certain areas. But it could also be if they're down in, they haven't got enough women recruits that week or something, so they might want to promote somebody into the position even if they're not the best candidate. Why can't things just be very, very simple, go on people's own merits, rather than having to box everything up and to make sure you tick that it's the right colour, has anybody got any disabilities, all things like that. I just think it's getting to be more and more of a nanny state in such a ridiculous way that it's stifling for the majority to please the minority.
Well, I think you've said it all.
Thank you for letting me spout.
Okay. I wish you well. I hope you find some balance soon. That's the key.
I hope so.
I think that's what we're missing, some balance.
Yes, I agree with that.
So, fingers crossed. Nice to talk. Take care.
You.
Wish you well. Bye-bye. Anthony's in Bristol. Hello, Anthony. You're on talkSPORT.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. We were talking about
cool.
today's
I've been listening
events
for a couple of hours now, since you came on and stuff. And to be honest, I've been quite surprised by. It seems like vitriol, really. There's been a lot towards the Pope, and other than Vicky just before me, to be fair to her, she did stole my thunder a bit, really. She said a lot of the things that I was thinking myself. I'm amazed that the Pope had to make a retraction. Well, not even a retraction, an apology. A lot of what she said about the Muslim community, I'd agree that not every Muslim is like some sort of fundamentalist terrorist or something. I totally agree with that. That would be stupid. But some of the statistics you see, like 1 in 4, I mean, that's obviously taken from a survey, but 1 in 4 of them sympathise with the London bombers, like sympathise with it, you know? the protests that were held outside in London or in Pakistan where they were burning the Pope's effigy. If you think about it, when there was that thing in Denmark, I think it was, when it was like there was some cartoon of Muhammad or something. I mean, like I say, I'm not totally into all this, but it's kind of...
Oh, it's in Denmark. In Denmark.
Yeah, it was a few months back,
I'd rather you didn't go into that.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, but the outrage that was caused by a cartoon, if you see what I'm saying, in the Muslim community about their God and all the rest of it, and yet it's all right for them to burn an effigy of the Pope, you know? To me, it's like, just like that Vicky was saying, they are a small minority in this country. This has been a Christian country, at least, whether it's Catholic or Protestant, going back until pagan times, pretty much. And
yeah, well, 2,000 years.
Sorry?
2,000 years.
Well, that's what I mean. Before, you know, it's not ever been a Muslim country, has it?
No.
And what I'm saying is basically is like, as she said as well, like, you know, they kick up a bit of a fuss and everyone's got to bow down to them. And I'm not saying, and I have to say as well, I've never been racist. I've had a lot of Chinese and Indian friends in my time, you know, like Hindus and Buddhists and stuff. And religion, although I'm Catholic myself, religion's never been an issue as such. But it does seem where the Muslims are concerned, not all of them, like I say, I mean, I don't see why to keep on kind of, you know, almost justifying myself, but that's the way it feels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I think that's probably why people in this country are feeling, you know, challenged. There's
definitely challenged, yeah.
And I would suggest, Anthony, that this is not through any fault of their own as people, but they haven't had to face a challenge to their beliefs even during the Second World War, even during the First World War.
That's probably true, yeah. No, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, it's like, it just amazes me that, and then he gives an apology that I don't think he should have to have given anyway, the Pope, and it's not enough, you know? And it's like, well, what do you want then? Do you want him to convert to a Muslim or something? Like, I mean, what is it you're after? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, because you feel challenged and you can't find it within you in your frame of reference to know what it is you should do to make it better.
I mean, like, I saw on the news that they were there saying, well, you know, he has made some kind of apology, but it's not enough for us, he should be doing more. Well, what exactly did the Muslim leaders want at the time? That's what I'm asking. I can't understand that myself.
Well, beyond sorry, I don't know what you have to do.
Well, exactly, that's it, yeah. And even then, I'd go so far as to say he shouldn't necessarily have to have said he was sorry and stuff. And, well, like I say, I mean, I've heard a lot of the callers that you've had calling in tonight who seem to have been, I don't know whether it's a couple of them, fair enough, they've been Muslims, so that's their own beliefs as it is, but there's been a lot of kind of, if you like, English or, you know, British.
Well, I'm trying to keep it balanced, which is why I'm going to let you go now, and hopefully you'll call again soon. Wish you well. Thank you very much. Right, 1053, 1089, this is talkSPORT. It's Mike Allen, and my number's 08704 20 20 20, 08704 20 20 20. We're talking about the booster seats for the car. If you get it wrong, it's going to cost you 30 quid. If you've got the wrong size seat for the person who's riding in the car, that's good, isn't it? You offer them a lift, and you get busted for 30 quid. Don't say that on the... And... crocodiles, big cats and wolves, it's a jungle in the countryside. It's quite extraordinary. Listen to this. They've had 1 penguin scored, 2 scorpions, 3 pandas, 4 eagles, 7 wolves, 10 crocodiles, 13 raccoons, 13 dangerous spiders, 15 owls, 43 snakes, 51 wallabies, 332 wild boars, 3,389 sharks, 5,931 big cats, all spotted in the British countryside. What a bizarre situation is that? Joseph's in London. Hello, Joseph.
Hi, how you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, going okay. You've called us about school food.
Yeah, I just think that everyone's making a big drama for nothing, really. I mean, if you look after the war, post-war food in England was the worst it's ever been. I think now, what's on offer, the variety of gourmet this, gourmet that, gourmet, you know, ready meals, I mean, it's fantastic. It's up to the parents to be feeding their kids and get them motivated into doing sports and stuff like that. You know, it's all down to the parents, really. So, you know,
you sound as if you sound as if you're a bit disappointed.
Well, I think it's just an excuse just to palm it off. It's like parents say, bad food at school. They're only there till 3 o'clock. And then what do you do with your kids after? you know, if you took them to the gym, or well, not to the gym, took them to play tennis, or they'd burn that off and they could have a good meal when they get home. So really, these people that are sitting there in their armchairs probably complaining about are the people that actually should be doing something about it rather than complaining.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes, absolutely. That sums up a lot of people's opinion on dedicated television watchers just sitting there, a sack with arms and legs. Brian is in Isleworth. Hello, Brian.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
And to your listeners. I'm actually calling up I've been listening for a few days now to this reaction that some of Islamic people are having regarding the statements the Pope made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not calling up here to defend or attack what the Pope says, but just put a point across. Now, two years ago on the radio, I had the head imam for Central London Mosque, and he came out and stated that Jesus did not die for his impalement on the cross, that was a lie, and he also said that all the New Testament stories were carefully contrived stories. Right? Now, if someone had said that about Muhammad, how would they have reacted? And it seems to me that Islam, at every turn, is very, very quick at taking offence to the slightest thing. Now, offence is for taking, and we don't have to take offence, but they always seem to be ready to jump in to take it. And they don't come out and make another statement to let you know what they really think. For example, do you know that Islamic people view all non-believers as what they call kafir, meaning unclean? It seems to me that with 2 or 3 faces.
Have you got a particular story you want to tell me?
Yes, well, a particular thing I'm actually calling about is to say, well, the Pope and others make statements, but they're not meaning to cause offence. In the meantime, the head imam for Central London Mosque 2 years ago on the radio stated that Jesus did not die from impalement. That was more or less a lie or a carefully contrived story. Now, Christians didn't jump in the wagon there and start shouting and burning things worldwide. And it just seems to me that Islam is forever ready to go on the attack. And for a religion that claims to be a peace religion, when you look at it in all different countries, it seems to be very far from that.
Well, I suppose it's like most things, you know. It's probably all in the application of it, really. Linda is in Birmingham. Hello, Linda.
Hello, Mike.
Now I've got my instructions here for my booster seat.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's been enough advertising or promotion being done with the booster seats.
Well, listen to this. Tell me, as a mother, you are a mother?
Well, a grandmother.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, some stores even sold out of the cheaper booster cushions after parents and grandparents bought 2 or 3 seats to ensure they can carry children and a friend or two legally. Now, you would know how important that is.
Yeah.
In future, all children under the age of 12 and anyone shorter than 4 foot 5 inches must sit on a booster seat or cushion when travelling by car. But a tall 9-year-old who is 4 foot 5, however, can be strapped to an adult belt. But an 11-year-old who's on a booster seat must sit on a booster seat designated.
Well, this is what I was going to say to you. I mean, a lot of the children aren't very happy about it. A friend of mine's got a child who's 10 years old, and he's not very happy about having to sit on one of them booster seats. It feels like he's in like a baby chair kind of thing. But having said that, I mean, people from today a lot of them won't realise that they're breaking the law because there hasn't been enough promotion about it on television or whatever.
No.
And that they will be breaking the law and they'll be charged and fined £30 if the child is in their car without a booster seat.
So
and the thing with me is I drive and my kids are grown up and I've got a granddaughter who I pick up from school on a Friday. And where do I stand with that? I only pick her up one day a week. Do I have to get a booster seat? I'll be breaking the law on that one day.
Yeah, you've got to have a seat.
What I'm concerned about.
Yeah, you've got to have a seat for your regular ride and any friend that she must want to come along with her.
Yeah, because anyone else who, if the parent can't get to the school on the day and they ask a friend or an aunt or someone to go and pick up the child for an emergency, they're going to be breaking the law if they do that. But having said that, I think that it's a good thing for safety. You know, I think it is a good thing, because if there's an accident, they are safe if they're in one of them booster seats now, and it is a good thing for that. But there hasn't been enough preparation for parents and not enough advertising, I don't think.
Good to talk to you, Linda. Thanks very much indeed. If you've got your own thoughts on the way that this piece of legislation has been handled, then no doubt I'll hear from you. It's 08704 20 20 20. Or email talksport.net. John is in Bratton, which is in Wiltshire. It doesn't have a long landing strip there, then.
No. Hello, Mike. Sorry, how are you?
Yes.
No. Can you tell me what colour or creed or nation a Muslim is, or a Catholic?
Well, no, it's just a bit like asking what a Catholic is. It's a belief, it's not a race.
That's right, but everybody phones up and says, I'm sorry, but I'm not racist. Surely, I mean, James Well must be the biggest racist going if you're talking about religion in that kind of category.
Well, I know what they mean, you know what they mean.
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, I mean, everybody's apologising for the way they're talking about different religions.
Yeah, but as you know, it's a strange thing about people in the UK. They're particularly protective about other people's beliefs, aren't they? You know, you could live next door to a Catholic family and you could be a Protestant or you could be Jewish, and they don't live on the edge saying, what a shame, you know, you're not this, you're not that, or, you know, it's left entirely to your own devices.
Well, that's the reason why we got the vote and everything else, like, you know, so you have got free say. It's just that it does seem that it is a little bit one-sided at the moment. You're not allowed to speak out about anything nowadays.
Yeah, well, I think, strangely enough, if there are any Muslim people listening to this, or people who pursue a Muslim faith, they would have recognised I've said a few things that make them aware that I'm not against them, and I'm aware of how things are in many ways. Mind you, having said that, they'll always get the odd thick one who won't have any idea what I'm talking about at all.
Well, I mean, I was actually told by a vicar one day that I was a hypocrite because I personally haven't been christened. And the wife wanted my 2 children christened one time. So I actually said, we come to an understanding after a few words that I'd stand in his church and I wouldn't say anything. And that's exactly what I've done. Because that was my belief. You know, but same with the Muslims, they always start off, we say that ours is a friendly sort of religion and everything else like that, and we're understanding. And then they always come out with, but.
Yeah, but I think that's in every territory on the planet. You know, you go to Australia and you pull up by a petrol service station in the middle of Australia and it's red hot, and you say, "Can you get a cold drink here or something?" And the guy says, "Yeah, but the fridge is broken."
That's right.
Good to talk to you. You take care. Where should we go? We haven't been to Manchester for a while. Greetings, Barry.
Hello?
Hello, Barry.
It's actually Barber. I think you just got my name wrong. It's the first time on the radio. I'm a big fan of yours, mate. So.
Is it Bob, did you say?
Barber.
B-A-B-A?
B-A-B-A-R. Barber.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I just want to speak to you regarding what the Pope said and just a general argument regarding Muslims. I consider myself to be a moderate Muslim. Now, this is not just what the Pope said, in terms of what he said, and also sort of a wider held view of Muslims, in my opinion. Now, I totally disagree with, what the bombings that happened in London. Now, it's very difficult to just blame the whole of the Muslim faith just on the actions, in my opinion, of a minority of people. I mean, Hitler was supposedly a Christian. Now, you can't, the world didn't blame Christians just because of his actions. So I think it's unfair, and it's despicable, the actions of, the bombers in London. And also, I think it has been an overreaction as well regarding the comments of the Pope. I mean, I think they're very insensitive, especially coming from, a person of such, sort of high esteem and, held in such a high position, basically, in the world. But other than that, I think there's been a slight overreaction, and I think we need to try and work out, the values that actually can bring us together in this world, in this country as well.
I think
that's my main point.
I think one of the things I've noticed tonight is people who are non-Muslims have started to reflect back what they've been getting over the past few months from people who are in the Muslim community.
Right.
And it's a hostility, and I think it's been a turning point. I mean, as the contemporary expression is a tipping point, isn't it?
Right.
And I think it's significant. As to whether it's dangerous or not, don't know. Time will tell. But I think both sides are starting to show their teeth at each other, and I don't think they're smiling.
Right. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. I mean, but in terms of religion, if you look down the history books, there's always been wars, there's always been fighting, and to be honest, everyone can say this is the right thing and what we believe is right. Until the day we die, we're not going to know. And in my opinion, it's just slightly. I mean, there's no intelligence there if you just base yourself on fighting other people against your words, basically your word against somebody else's. Now, faith is a very personal thing to me, and that's how it should be, and it shouldn't reflect the way you react to people and the way you treat people in daily life. I mean, I've got friends from all different communities, different backgrounds, and just because of the face or the colour of the skin, it has no bearing on the way I treat them, and I think that's basically how it should be. And religion should be a personal thing to you, and this is what a lot of my friends, you said there's a lot of young people, going towards Islam. I don't think it's a bad thing if basically if they use it in a positive way. Like you said, it's the application of the way you treat religion. If you use it in a positive way, there's nothing wrong with it, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's a way of living without sin, for example. I mean, without, things like alcohol and drugs and so forth. So in the positive aspect, I think it works. But there are leaders and there are people in the community, like they're not just the Muslim community, other communities as well, that inflame situations and have got their own agendas. Now, they're the kind of people that need to be either educated or rooted out or whatever you want to call it. But we shouldn't blame. I mean, I do feel like, when I listen to the radio now and I listen to the station pretty much half the day now. And there's a lot of presenters, and it's a very negative and one very biased way of showing Islam. And I understand, with the things going on, it's very hard to be any other way. But I mean, if there was a bit more of a neutral side, a bit more of a neutral opinion, a bit more, get a few more moderate Muslims on, get a few more people who've got a bit more to say other than, we want Sharia law in this country. And just make one quick point as well before I go.
Very quickly, and try and breathe when you're talking.
It's the first time on the radio. I'm a big fan of
That's all right, but it might be your last, because you might expire. Just take some breath.
Okay, I'll slow down. Okay, basically also, in Islam, and this is not just from the Prophet, but the Quranic Bible itself as well, nationality is absolutely vital in the way you live. You should follow the laws of the country. And I was listening to John Gorn earlier on in the day, and somebody came on and said they want Sharia law in this country, and it wouldn't work, and it's not right, because at the end of the day, if you're a Muslim and you're living in
although you can go into a bank in this country, and not every bank, but
right.
And you can do business under Sharia law.
You probably can.
Yeah. Baba, I got to go. I've got to speak to Pam, who's in Stockton. Hello, Pam.
Hello.
Hiya.
The reason I'm phoning, I was a bit upset about the gentleman that came on before about the Lib Dems. Now, I've always voted Labour up to 8 years ago. I live in a Labour council, but the ward I'm in is Lib Dems. And they couldn't have been more kind or more helpful to me than anybody. And I think the Lib Dems are changing. They're changing now. And I think the people want to give them a chance and listen. Listen to what they've got to say. And I think they deserve a chance.
Okay.
Okay?
What do you think of Ming Campbell?
Well, I like Charles Kennedy, but I haven't really heard a lot from him, Campbell. See, I'm disabled and most of the time I'm drugged to sleep. I'm in that much pain. So I haven't really heard a lot. But I understand that at this conference he's supposed to come more onto the, people, listen to more of the people. And I'm just waiting to hear what he has to say. But as I say, as far as I'm concerned, they couldn't have been kinder to me.
Oh, well, that's always good. It's heartening to hear that. Thank you, Pam. Right. Okay. Here's the number to call. We've been listening to people's views. Nobody, when pressed, is prepared to admit that, we might have gone a bit over the top on the last couple of days. I'm not talking about the radio station, I'm talking about events, culminating in the story in today's Times, I believe it is, where police patrols have been increased around hundreds of churches and mosques because of fears that the Pope's comments about Islam could provoke violence. So, well done everybody who kept their temper, and if we want to talk about it, this is the perfect place to do it. It's 08704 20 20 20. I'll say that again because I said it badly. 08704 20 20 20. Have the community leaders been good? Have they been holding up? Have they been supportive? 08704 20 20 20. Or you can text 81089 and expect to pay your standard fee with an official 50% loading. Or 50 pence loading, that should be. Send me an email, by the way, to talksport.net. Should we have an email watch a bit later on, John? What do you think? Yes, we'll have a look. Riyadh's in Reading. Hi, Riyadh.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Good morning to you. I hope you realise that I will not be going to work tomorrow now because I'm sitting here listening to you.
Oh, good. We should damage the